Greetings, friends and enemies, and welcome to Art by Flan. So we are about 2 weeks into October by now, so what a perfect time to talk about Inktober. Not at the beginning of the month, not at the end of the month, smack dab in the middle. Why not? First things first, I'm not doing Inktober. Not because I don't like the challenge, not because I think it's a waste of time or anything like that. It doesn't fit into my schedule. I had originally planned to do at least 3 or 4 Inktober pieces to sort of do in the month of October like I did for Mermay. But September happened, and September was an absolute, pardon my language, shit show. Just thing after thing after thing kept happening, and if you keep up with my schedule, you notice I didn't upload very consistently, and I feel like what I uploaded wasn't the greatest quality, so it was a trying month, and I'm exceptionally glad it's over. October is my birth month. My birthday was on the 9th, and it was a good day. I had a good time, and I love the spooky season, so I'm glad it's October. So no, not doing Inktober. Just for various reasons, that's mostly why I'm not doing it. But that brings up the point of I'm mostly a traditional artist. Now, if I had done Inktober, did I say traditional? I'm a digital artist. I don't know what I do. If I had done Inktober, I would have done it traditionally. Mostly because I feel, well, that's what I'd want to do. I have the ability to, it's within my power, it's within my skill set to do it traditionally. So that's what I would have done. But that brings to mind the debate from last year. And I should have made a video on it last year, but I didn't. So I'm making one on this year and trying to stop me. And that was the digital versus traditional Inktober debate. And Jake Parker, the guy who originally created or started Inktober, I guess he's created it, went on Twitter and said that while there's nothing wrong with doing digitally, he conceptualized it as a traditional thing to make the lines permanent without, what did he say, quote, the safety net of layers and undo. And that sort of triggered a debate between digital and traditional artists to a point. So the reason a lot of digital artists were upset by this because it's something that we, mainly digital artists, have heard a lot in our lives. It echoes, the term without that safety net echoes things like undo is cheating and having layers is cheating and digital art is super easy because you have all of those things. And it's sort of a knee-jerk response of ours to defend our craft in that way. Because traditional artists don't have to do that. They don't have to convince people that what they do is a legitimate art medium. Now, that doesn't go for art style. Sometimes you do have to argue that or whatever, but no one argues when it comes to traditional art that what they do is a legitimate medium. Whereas with digital art, we have to do that all the time, be it to people who aren't familiar with digital art or people who are, and just, again, aren't familiar with it enough to understand how it works, things like that. And a lot of it, especially in my time, was from kids who couldn't afford a tablet or didn't have one, and so their knee-jerk reaction was to hate on it because that was just how they coped with it. So, digital art isn't real art, things like that. So that was the initial backlash, I feel, to Jake Parker's statement. He never said that I can recall that you couldn't do it digitally, just that when he conceptualized the idea of Inktober, it was with pen and paper. And I've seen a lot of people doing it digital every year because if that's the medium you have access to, that's the medium you're going to use to do this sort of thing. And a lot of people took it as, digital artists were being sensitive, they were being uppity, being told they couldn't do something, and that it was, they should just get used to that. And it's like, that's not coming as a digital artist, that's not what it was about. It was, again, that knee-jerk response of us feeling like, once again, our medium was being invalidated by a big figure. And that's not necessarily true because Jake Parker also does a lot of digital art. Just in this one instance, he conceptualized something. He thought it up as this, but as artists usually do, we take it, we change it, we make it ours. So there's nothing wrong with doing Inktober digitally or traditionally, and one way isn't any less valid than the other. And that also brings up the fact that it's supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a fun thing for people to do. This isn't, you're not being graded on Inktober. You're not, this Inktober isn't ride or die. You can make money off of Inktober, sure, I guess, but that's still not an excuse to treat digital artists badly, or even artists who aren't doing Inktober the same way you are, badly. This isn't a life or death situation here. It's freaking Inktober. All you're supposed to be doing is drawing every day with ink of some kind. That was the only rule he set out. And if this, inspires people who maybe don't usually do traditional media to do traditional media, that's freaking outstanding. That's great. And it also doubles as the fact that, more exposure, because people go through the Inktober tag all the time. I do, looking at all the posts, seeing all the new people I could find and follow. I followed a lot of artists I follow now because of their Inktober posts in the past. So it's a great thing to take part in, whether you're doing it digitally or traditionally or every day or every week. It doesn't matter. You're in that hashtag, you're getting a lot of visibility. So it's a good thing, to participate. And, it's also just, again, supposed to be a fun thing. And when people get all upset about the specifics of Inktober, it's only supposed to be traditional, and it's only supposed to be black and white, and it's only supposed to be with ink, Copic ink doesn't count, blah, blah, blah. You're getting too into it, okay? You're getting way too caught up in the specifics of this. Do Inktober how you want to do it, and let other people do it how they want to do it. I have specific things I look for in Inktober pieces. Like, I do generally favor black and white pieces over full color ones, but that's just me. I'm not going to go out of my way telling people that they're doing Inktober wrong because they decided to color their inked piece. I'm not going to do that. This is for fun. This is their art. I'm not going to step on it. And I like going back to the me not participating thing. Because it is such a big thing in the art community, the media art community. I honestly don't know how big it is outside of social media. It's kind of a social media thing, quote unquote. But not participating in it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're less of an artist. And the same can be said for not finishing it. Not finishing Inktober doesn't mean you failed it. It just means maybe it's a little beyond your limits right now. I know. I said the same thing on Mermaid. For me personally, a drawing every single day is just not within my scope. I work a full-time job. I have other responsibilities. I have other hobbies I want to tend to. So even, I could probably do a doodle a day, but I know how my brain works, and I would want to take it to another level each and every time to feel like I'd accomplished something. And so I know my limits, and I know how to work within them. So saying no to Inktober or Mermaid or Drawtober or what are some of the other ones they got? Junicorn doesn't make you any less of an artist. It doesn't mean you don't have the ability to do it. It just means you are making a conscious decision not to do it because you know your limits. And so that's one thing, because I see so many people who do Inktober or Mermaid or Junicorn or whatever you got going on there, who only finish it halfway, and they're kind of like, I failed, I didn't finish, but that's not the point. The point is that you, first of all, tried, and second of all, that you created something. The whole point of challenges like these are to get you drawing. And if you've drawn even one thing because of these monthly challenges, then you've already succeeded. We should be finishing up the final piece here. If you like what you see, don't forget to click that like button. You can subscribe, leave a comment, do all that YouTube stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.